punctured it about 10 times, man.
Yeah. If you want your car restored, you bring that son of a bitch over here. Look what we got going on tonight. We're gonna get started back on the 65. I've been talking about it for a while, but it's now time. So today I busted out the welder, the grinder, everything else, and we got started on this thing. So, well, Andrew didn't. He just got here.
I had to work.
Yeah, right. One more time for anybody that's new to the channel. This is a 1965 Fastback. Some people say 66, but this was kind of that late in the year deal where it's got the GT style dash in it. I just want to go ahead and cover that because I get that a lot. This was the car that I drove in high school, drove it for a little while, and basically just kind of put it up, and it was rough back in the day. But it continually got worse to the point to where we had to do something with it. So as you can see, we got new fenders on it, new doors, new radiator, same engine from back in, well, honestly, back in the mid 80s. We put a new cowl on the car, addressed a lot of the rust areas, which is what we're doing right now. So as you can see, I've got that section cut out over there and primed. We have our wheel tubs in, and I've pretty much started welding all that in, tacking it all into place. But the big thing that I'm super excited about is this package tray back here. Check this out. And now we have our package tray. It's a little uneven because there was no way to really take measurements. So what we're gonna do is even each side up. See the gap there and then the gap there? We're gonna even those up and then just put a piece of metal in, weld it all up. Now this is not welded in at the moment, it's just clamped in, but man, it feels so good to be able to have this done. Like I said, down there we have one little rust area, and guys, that's it. That's all that's left is that area and then this area as far as rust goes. There's a couple little issues back here that I still got to address. That's nothing big. We got a new gas tank in the car. This is the car that I've been most excited about working on, getting back. I know Andrew has. Andrew's been chomping at the bit for this, so I'm gonna take you guys along for some of the ride, but not as much as I do with the Fox bodies because, you know, this is a Fox body channel. But this is something that's very important to me and I'm gonna continue to work on. As you can see, we've taken this a lot slower. I'm not out here killing myself on it like I do with the Fox bodies. Mainly because I don't know these cars that good. I don't know them in and out like I do the Fox bodies. This thing's like a jigsaw puzzle to the point to where if you mess up and you put the wrong part on first and it's something that you welded on before something else needed to go on, you're in a mess. So I've really been trying to take my time to not jump the gun on stuff. Also, I'll show you guys this. We got one taillight in. This is just mock-up stuff here. We have the rear valence on the car. This is the GT valence. This is not a GT car. Now the car does run and drive. It's actually got brakes. If we had windows and we had the doors and fenders and everything bolted up, I mean, you could drive this car right now. Honestly, it'd be in better shape than it was whenever I drove it back in high school. That's no lie. It really would. But it had more rust in it back then than it does now. So I'm pretty proud of this. It's not going to be a show car. At least that's not what I'm going for. It'll never be like 100% correct as far as like, how like everything was cut out, welded, and put back together. I'm not concerning myself with a lot of that stuff. It's going to have a lot of seam sealer in it, but hell, these cars had that from the factory. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get these pieces welded in down here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like.
All right, want to press that red button?
No, don't press the red button.
They don't call for all them fucking quacks that you're going to put in this video.
Actually, I'll just leave that. Show them how much of a potty mouth you got. Everybody thinks Andrew's just a nice young lad. He's not. He's a piece of shit.
So, what that got to do with anything? You can still be a piece of shit, nice.
Is that not? That's not how it goes.
I was wondering, man. I was like, he'll figure it out eventually, He used to fight for a window seat on the school bus, that's for sure.
Don't know exactly what that means, but yeah.
Licking the windows.
Oh, and I did do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is precision shit right here, guys.
Yeah,
if you
we measured it about 10 times, man.
Yeah. If you want your car restored, you bring that son of a bitch over here and we'll get you hooked up. Ain't nobody better in the business than us.
They call that massaging.
They do. Called it massage a trois.
You can't put that one on YouTube.
All right, it's update time. So let me take you in here and show you what we've done. We've got some more stuff welded up, and I want to show you how these panels fit in the car. All right, so as you can see, I started running a series of tacks on that particular wheel well, and I'm going to follow that down all the way, so it's going to be welded on both sides the same way all the way around. That's going to take some time. I'm running some really small wire right now, and then also I've got to do the top up here as well. But all of this down here is now fixed. And I also want to give you an update on this piece. So as you can see, they're two separate pieces. We had to cut this thing before because we couldn't get it in the car. But now I went ahead, trimmed it up a little bit more because these wheel wells are squared off and the factory ones are rounded, so you got to do a lot of trimming. As you can see, it's kind of gapped up there, but you know what? Like I said before, it's not going to be a show car. We're going to fill all these gaps in with little pieces of plate, and it should look pretty good. We've got all the stuff done inside except for one little spot right here, and that's it. Like the interior of the car is pretty much done as far as stuff that we're going to weld up. So I'm super excited to be working on this car again. It's one of those things where it's really hard to stay motivated because there's so much work that needs to be done. And like I said before, you don't really know where to start and where to stop. And you don't want to make the wrong move. You don't want to do one thing and then it keeps you from doing another. I'm just really happy to have this car down at the shop and be working on it again. For the most part, all the Fox bodies are doing good. The green one still needs a few tweaks, but we'll probably save that for next year. I will tell you guys this though. I may have a new plan for this car. I don't know for sure, but we may change this thing up completely next year. Yeah, I don't know just yet if we're gonna do it or not, but it's definitely something that I thought about. I kind of want to keep this thing simple. I want to make it more of a driver. Guys, the more I do this, the more cars that I build and the older that I get, I'm just not really into the racing. I'm just not. I hate it because I know a lot of you guys are, but there are plenty of other channels that do that. The Calypso may be changing up next year, so we'll see about that. I will tell you this. I'm probably going to change the color of the car. I'm going to do something that I wanted to do a while back. Let me take you underneath this car because I don't think a lot of people have really seen underneath here in a while. This car is pretty much fully built underneath. It's got all Team Z suspension. The rear end's been welded. It's got 35 spline axles, C-clip eliminators, spool. I mean, this car has been done right underneath. It's just not really what I'm looking for, I guess. We'll see what 2023 brings for that one. As far as the Carbon Fox goes, she's good. I don't think there's anything that we really need to do to this car other than drive it. We still need to break the clutch in on this one though, so I need one more drive, and then I'm gonna go ahead and turn it loose. As far as the retro goes, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I don't even want to talk about this with the Retro Fox, but there is a chance that the Retro Fox maybe has a blown head gasket or a seeping head gasket or an intake gasket. And the reason why I'm laughing is because everybody gives me a hard time because I go through head gaskets like water. I'm not sure that that's what it is. The car runs fine, but I do smell some antifreeze. But at the same time, the water pump is leaking, so it could just be, the fan could be blowing it back on the engine, on the exhaust, and making me smell that. But I don't think it has a blown head gasket. But anyway, I've got to fix that at some point. Other than that though, guys, we're good to go. We're pretty much set up on the Fox bodies, except for my dad's car. We need to work on it. And then Andrew's car as well. So Andrew will be bringing his black and gray car over for us to get started on it here real soon. So you guys hang in there if you like carbureted Fox body content. It's going to be coming here real soon. We're going to go through Andrew's car completely, make this thing look new again. You know we can do it. Stay tuned for a little bit more 65 content. I promise you guys I won't bore you to death with it, but we will be including some of this. And at some point when this car is looking really nice and it's got its wheels and it's been lowered and we're in, you know, getting ready for paint, I think everybody's going to want to see more of it. Right now, I know it's boring, but it will get better. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.